Meanwhile, Liverpool continue to add to their squad. It's been a busy summer for them so far, hasn't it? Kerkez made official today to make that move from Bournemouth to steel up their defence. Just a reminder what sort of player they are getting from the Cherries. Just 21 years of age. Obviously impressed last season in particular. Nedum and Rob with us. Craig, you look at this, you can't really see too many problems with it, huh?
No, it's just he's a very good player, very, very good player, and he's young, as you see there on the graphic. So everything's going his way. But as good as he is, it's the big question you always have. It's just a big step, isn't it? Mm-hmm. From Bournemouth, who are a very good, solid Premier League side now under Areola, to Liverpool, where the expectations just go through the roof. Andy Robertson has been brilliant for them for several years, but he's been flagging. Tsimikas is he's been a squad player for them. It's been a problem area. I suppose both full-back areas have been something that the manager is having to look at, particularly with Trent Alexander leaving. But the left-back area was an issue because Andy Robertson, he was not as productive going forward as he was, and he was making more mistakes defensively. This guy could have a long and illustrious career at Liverpool. He's good enough. But then you just got to question, how is he going to take the pressure, the added expectations and fitting into this side? These are the unknowns. In terms of talent, he has it, but he's making a big switch here from a small provincial club to an elite club that's going to be gunning for every major competition.
Just give me a little bit more detail on that, because surely as a defender coming from Bournemouth, where you're asked a lot more questions compared to Liverpool when you don't see the ball as much, where obviously Liverpool expect to win, you're not defending as much. Surely you're under more pressure at a team in which you're looking to defend more than you are, for example, at Liverpool.
Because it's slightly easier when you play, and Bournemouth don't really. They try and play an expansive game. But I think when you're under the cosh a little bit more, it is a little bit easier because you've got a shape, and we see teams defending deep quite a lot, and it is slightly easier to be in a good position when you're doing that. When you play in a side that likes to do both sides of the game and attacking the way Liverpool do, and they expect their fullbacks to be bombing forward, then it's about decision making from his perspective. When does he go forward? When does he work with this back four? Because he's going to be expected to do both sides of the game here, big time. I go back to it. Andy Robertson was a beacon for attacking fullbacks in that left-back area, as was Trent Alexander-Arnold. And so Kerkez is going to be expected to do that in bucket loads, get forward, produce good balls in, produce the end product, but be in the right position defensively. There's going to be a lot more questions asked of him, I think, in terms of his positional sense and how he copes at Liverpool than he did at Bournemouth. It's just the nature of the game. When you step up to a big club like this with these expectations, then things change. But I think he's experienced enough. He should handle it. But you just never know when a younger player goes in to such a big stage.
Nedum?
Yeah, I think you asked a very good question there, because the two situations are different, but Craig has explained it well. And as I look at him going to Liverpool now, well, if he's lucky enough, who could possibly be playing alongside him? Well, it's one Virgil van Dijk playing at left centre-half. So in terms of learning his craft at a different type of club, he's probably got one of the best captains that the Premier League has seen that will be able to walk him through it while also still trusting his ability and understanding that there's a reason why he's there. So the situations are different. And what I would add is, when you are at a team that maybe doesn't have a ton of possession, where the expectation generally isn't as big, I think at times as a player it's quite easy to sort of hide in moments and revert back to, well, we'll just defend well, we'll just do this. But when the limelight is on you, the way it will be at Liverpool's, at Arsenal's, at Man City's and other sides who are more progressive up the table at this moment in time, you have to stand up and be counted. You have to take the ball under pressure. You have to understand in this moment you have to do the right thing. Because if you do the wrong thing for, say, 1 week in April, before you know it, league titles are gone, cup competitions are gone and so on. But I think Kerkez, at the age of 21, is a fantastic age. We've seen how good he's been so far. No doubt he'll be coachable, and now he's entering one of the best environments to develop as a player. And as you said, Dan, this could be a great signing for Liverpool for the next 10 years. So with a bit of luck, that'll be the case. And if Andy Robertson is the one that misses out because of it, his service has been immaculate. but here comes the next person, and that's the way these big football clubs work.
Of course, suggestions that maybe Andy Robinson can be on his way to Atletico Madrid. Just confirm the business that Liverpool have done so far this summer. Wirtz, Kerkez and, of course, Frimpong as well. We'll talk about the possibility of some other players leaving in a moment with you, Rob. But first off, how blindsided have other clubs been by how quickly and how well and efficient Liverpool have done their business, Rob?
I mean, it's certainly the talk among Premier League rivals. You know, I think that the best clubs, the best run clubs, always strengthen from a position of strength themselves. You know, it'd been very easy for the owners to say, well, we won the league last year, we can tweak it a little bit, maybe a couple of positions here and there, but the squad is good enough to go and challenge for the title again. Well, Liverpool haven't said that. You know, they've replaced Trent Alexander-Arnold with Frimpong. They've bought a left-back in Kerkez and signed one of the most highly rated young players in Europe in Wirtz. You know, that's a real statement of intent for Liverpool, that they're not content with one Premier League title, that they want to go out and win it again and challenge consistently in the Champions League. And I think if you're the likes of Arsenal, Man City, Man United, anyone that's got any kind of ambition of challenging at the top of the table, you're looking at Liverpool as setting the standard at the moment, because it's not even July the 1st. You know, this business has not only been done really, really quickly, it's just been so efficient. You know, all of those three bodies are in the building already. They're going to be there in time for pre-season training. You know, they are the team to beat when the Premier League starts.
We mentioned, of course, the fact that some Liverpool players could be leaving. It's part of Mark Ogden's list, actually, as which players could be departing their clubs this summer. Nunez is at the top of that list. Let's go through with some of these players, shall we? Rob, with you. Let's start off with Darwin Nunez, who we heard heavily linked to Atleti, but Napoli front runners at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and I think obviously Liverpool will be happy that there's interest in Nunez. I mean, he came to Anfield with high expectations for a high fee. For whatever reason, it's not really worked for him. It just shows that, you know, any transfer is a risk. You know, there's never a given in terms of bringing players into a football club. I think if Liverpool can kind of generate a little bit of a fee and have him off the wage bill, they'll be delighted with that. It's just for whatever reason it's not worked out for him, and he didn't get that many opportunities last season with the players that Liverpool have brought in. I think that he's looking at a season perhaps again on the fringes, so it's probably best and time for him to move on now. Yeah,
it was a flop in the end when you take a look at the money that was spent overall. And as much as people liked him, liked his endeavour, his energy, what he brought on the pitch, in the end you paid all that money for him to get goals. He didn't get them at Liverpool. Will he elsewhere? Was it just the case he was not set up? It was not the right team for him to be walking into?
No, I think it was. I think he's just shown, particularly in the Premier League, that he's been quite rash and raw in front of goal. And that's it's really never changed. We've had the odd exception where he scored some wonder goals. It's the sort of simplicity of his game that has let him down, where it's the simple tap-in or the holding of a run where he gets caught offside a lot, you know, the timing of a run. And I do see him going somewhere else if Liverpool can recoup at least some of the money. That begs the question then, being a body down in that position, whether he's a natural goal scorer or not, which he hasn't been for Liverpool. He was better at Benfica. But it does beg the question, yeah, they're probably not going to go out and spend 100 million on some top-level striker because they probably don't have the money now, having spent it elsewhere. But they're probably going to need a body in there. I mean, you know, Jota plays a false nine. Luis Diaz plays a false nine. Maybe Cody Gakpo at times has played up there on the left-hand side or as a false nine. Is that going to be enough? Even with the signing of Florian Wirtz, even with the signing of Frimpong going down the right-hand side, is that going to be enough if and I keep going back to this, if Mo Salah somehow just drops off this phenomenal run of season after season, scoring the same amount of goals or more as a natural striker, if that drops off, who else is going to step up? And for all the talent that they have, that's going to be the big question for me, because at some point the age will catch up with the likes of the Salahs and the numbers will drop. And when that happens, Liverpool have to make sure they're in a position that somebody else can come in, not necessarily in that position, but come in that forward front three and make up for those goals, whether it be from the midfield or the front line. So if Nunez goes, which I think Liverpool are obviously trying to do, fine. But I do feel they will need somebody else in that position to at least come off the bench.